For reference, the hill with the ETs came out on that hilltop. That's it right there. Can't see it with this. I don't have a telephoto, enough of a telephoto on this lens. All right, let's move on. All right, let's move on. I was just over there in reference to the big tree. There's the big tree. I was just over there, about 100 yards. So in this spot, we were led to, and it's mostly I was following my buddy Jeremy, who led us to this spot. And this was during a break, shortly after we got started. It's significant because we weren't here very long, and all of a sudden he says, "Whoa!" A white ribbon, a white light went around. Looked like a ribbon went around both of us. We were about 10 feet apart, so he says, "This is huge." And he says, "Whoa, another one." This time was a red one. Now the white and red, we've seen a lot of small grape-sized lights that are white and or red. For these ribbons, that was new. To come swooping around. Next thing you know, he says, "There's a purple light behind your head." And I had a camera with me. It was just a cheap Canon camera. I've had some luck. I got pictures of those beings. It has a super zoom, but it's also wide angle. So I had that sitting on my chest, and I just took a picture. He said, "There it goes." So it was headed that way. I never saw it. I never saw the purple light. I didn't see the white and red lights, the ribbons. Never saw any of that. But I took a picture, and sure enough, the next day when we looked, there's a purple light. It also looks, it looks like there's little tufts behind it, like it was moving, It gave the impression of motion. Now, had I seen the purple light, excuse me, I would have had it in the center of the picture, but I just captured it because I didn't really, I never saw it, so I just figured I aimed straight ahead and just cut it off about halfway, but it's there. And then so if the light was maybe 10 feet away when I took the picture, there was also something standing right here. Or not standing, it could have been floating. It looked like the face of a being, just out of arm's reach, and there were two things that were up about this high, two different colored things that were up about waist high. So, we don't know what that was. I said maybe it was my crown chakra going for a little vacation or something, but who knows. So that was significant, and we moved down that way. This is like two separate nights. Our first night we were parked way over there by the sign. Kind of give you a little, overview. That's where we went to this tree. I think after the first night it was, because we started out over there. I don't know if you can see the little post board there with the roof on it. If you can see that up there, you should be able to. Okay, so that was where we started. So I got things up a little mixed up here. I'm not sure. That's one of the reasons why I like to document stuff, because you forget, Hey, I just felt one raindrop. Okay, so we're going to move on here. I'll show you another time. We believe there was a ship above us, or I do anyway. I believe there was a ship because Dr. Greer was pointing over this way, right over us. Right here we were standing, and right above us there was a ship 20 feet above us. He said it was 50 feet in diameter. All right, so I'm going to cut out and we'll go to the next spot we were at. Okay, if you want to just look right there, you see that tree, the one on the right in the distance, that's where I just was. Okay, we walked out here on this path. It isn't much of a path, but we walked out here with Dr. Greer back in 2016, September. A group of us at night, of course, it's pitch black out. It's very dark. We came through here, and Dr. Greer stopped right about here, and he said there's a red orb 20 feet in front of me. Yeah, the camera right now is about 10 foot, so about twice the distance. I was number 3 or 4 behind him, and I couldn't see because he's such a big guy. But I thought, I wish I could see that orb. And it wasn't but a few seconds later that orb, it was stayed about this high off the ground, about 8 inches in diameter. This orb peeled off to the left about 40 feet, and then it went down parallel to our path, moving about maybe 10 miles an hour, probably a little less. And then there was a second orb that was same diameter, but it was stretched out to about 2 foot. And that was leading the first one, only by maybe 10 feet in front of it. So it was beautiful. Red when the inside was orange. It was like liquid. It was like moving inside. Dr. Greer says sometimes whole civilizations can be inside those. And we've known from other people who have seen orbs, like come into their room, their bedroom or whatever, and then it materialized into a full being. So it's not so far-fetched. This wasn't a little orb. It was pretty solid red, about the size of a kid's soccer ball, and it wasn't faint at all. It was quite prominent. The one that was leading it, because it was stretched out, it was faded out more. But that was kind of fading in and out, not changing in dimensions, but the color was fading in and out. So this is one site that was very profound. And then we walked probably that first tree. Around that first tree, we were looking that way, and some dark silhouette formed, and that was quite interesting too. We approached it, and when we approached it, it dissipated. We went into the ground, but it started out it was at least 9 foot tall. So, okay, next. All right, the next spot we were at was right in this area. I don't know exactly because it was dark, but distance-wise, it seems about right. I'll just do a quick scan of the area here. Okay, so there's the big tree. Somebody from the group, one of the ladies had a singing bowl, Tibetan singing bowl. She had a crystal in it that made an incredibly, it like amplified the signal. It amplified the sound. So they were way over there, and we could just hear it like incredible. Also, one of the things that was notable was that it sounded like it was muffled or something. It was off by a little. By this time, I had felt like I'm getting into a dreamy state. There's stuff going on, And then when we left, we walked through like a wall of energy or something, but it both made us, he went through it first, he turned around, looked at me, he says, "Whoa, did you feel that?" And I says, "I'm feeling it," because I was in it yet. And then we walked up to the group, and that's where Dr. Greer was pointing his laser at a craft that was over there, 20 feet off the ground, the one I just mentioned. So that's what was going on there. I think there was still something going on here. The craft could have been over the top of us at that time too, or another one, or a second one, who knows. And then we walked to the path, and they never saw us until we got right up to them, which was a little weird. So right out there, when I was out there before, I should have mentioned the wall of fog that was also going on after that orb. So there was a huge wall of fog, hundreds of yards long, probably 15 feet high. Many times people have said, well, that's probably the perimeter of a craft. That could be. But for a wall of fog, I mean the rain, it's raining today, and the rain's not even hitting the ground, it's so dry, Last night, it didn't get down below 82 degrees.